All right, so welcome to our latest edition of TNT.
Boom! Boom, 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 boom.
I'm Pastor Joe with the great Michael LaMelle the first, and we just are so appreciative of all of the love that we got. I see my brother Mike Waller.
He heard you. He heard you, Wanda.
That's right. He heard you. He heard you.
Yeah, man. So forgive me, my eyes look a little heavy. They say that we have these allergies going around. You been affected, preacher?
Very much so. Very much so.
Now, can I ask you a question? Have you been affected with allergies most of your life, or no?
Really?
Only recently?
Yeah, the last like 2 or 3 years. I mean, I've had bouts, here and there, but it's in the last couple of years. It's been tough, a little tough.
All right, I want to say that I've had it since a child, and I only recently been feeling it now. Like they've been coming notifications on my phone and everything, saying about high pollen count, allergies,
Right.
severe.
Right.
And I've gone to the car every day, to the truck. I come out of here, go down, I go and look at different people's cars. And I don't see any pollen.
You don't?
I don't.
Oh, wow.
Not as severe as they're saying.
Okay.
I've seen something.
Right. Well, my car's it's got a little yellow tint to it. But it's not, we ain't really hit it yet, for real.
But they're saying that it's severe. Why is it severe when we ain't really hit it? And it's this time of year. Trees not doing anything yet.
Yeah, I don't know. What I've kind of thought in my brain, I have no scientific background to say this, but
It don't matter. Bill Gates don't either, but he's an authority. So go ahead.
Right, but there's a significant lack of bees, like in the world, and it seems that it's kind of directly proportional to this idea of this high pollen. And we know that one of the purposes of bees is to pollinate. And so if they're bringing it to different places, then they don't have to get in my eyes and nostrils. But I don't know.
Okay.
Do you see bees anymore?
No. I saw one about 3 or 4 days ago. I was at the Wawa and I came out and one was on my window and I filmed it. I seen him. I said I'm gonna make a post about it. And he rolled on my window from Greenbrier all the way to MP's. And he hung on there.
It's hung on.
I went to J&K, he hung all the way on, and I was like, wow. So, yeah, it was there. Because they have garages.
That could have something to do with it. Who knows?
Yeah. Chemtrails, though.
Everywhere. See them every day.
That could be affecting our breathing. So, man, what should we talk about right quick before we get to this game?
Whatever you would like to talk about, brother.
It's so much, brother. Just why? So, I may be going back in Facebook jail. I'm in Instagram jail.
He a real thug.
And past.
He always getting locked up.
Pastor said that it was okay that he would put some on my books because
got you, man.
What I was saying was in 6th grade they have a book that's encouraging boys on and teaching them how to perform fellatio, and I posted a post where the little boy is actually reading an excerpt from the book. And so you can go and look. It's on my Instagram, but the language is very strong. But the point is that it was for a sixth grader, and his librarian asked, would he like something more graphic?
Graphic novel.
I don't understand, brother. I'm done.
And somebody's going to jump on this and be very myopic and assume that we are Insert whatever phobic.
Right. Insert whatever.
Just insert whichever one you want to put in it.
We keep getting that.
Just insert. Which, first of all, he already told you, keep getting locked up. He a real thug, not scared of nothing. I got a little thug in me too, not scared of nothing.
That part.
But the real point, and I'm gonna speak for my brother right now.
Do it, brother.
This is our soapbox. Leave the babies alone. It does not matter if it's heterosexuality, homosexuality, transsexuality, whatever you want to put in it. There should not be in elementary schools books that are teaching kids how to perform sexual acts as regular reading.
Or encouraged same-sex or heterosex erotic involvement, just involvement, touching.
Exactly.
Worm loves worm should not be elementary school reading.
Should not be. Kids should not be reading about other children getting aroused in order to be aroused themselves at 8, 9, 10 years old. That's just inappropriate. And it doesn't matter whatever the orientation is.
Doesn't matter.
We're doing too much.
Y'all making it be about the wrong thing when you say about their orientation.
And so what happens is when there is a book that is promoting homosexual behavior and somebody decides to speak out against it, you get labeled homophobic.
Right.
That's not the point.
It's not.
The point is, this is not what the baby should be reading. Kids should learn about sex from their parents. And the school should have very specific sex education that happens with parental consent.
Yeah.
But it really shouldn't be, I walk into a library and come check out a book. Well, you can't check out a book about Martin Luther King no more in Florida. And I am then going to check out a book on me being aroused sexually by my classmate, and then the librarian then offer me even more graphic reading on the particular subject. And I'm 10 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
I think every parent should be outraged about this type of thing. And you know, it's gotten very weird in America today, to where you can't read about Harriet Tubman in some cities, some states, but you can absolutely read about this in others. And I don't even know if this was the topic for tonight, but just why?
Just why?
It just makes perfect sense.
Right. Just why, man? All of it. Just why? Sis sent me a video about some drag queens dancing in front of some children, and they were infants. I made the reel. I did it all this morning. Didn't post it yet. I was like, okay, I was trying to wait till a better time to post. I had a few more tweaks I want to put on my video. And then the video was gone. Sis, the video is gone. It's not even in my inbox, in my DMs no more. So they took it away. But it was there for a while. And I'm talking about grown men doing splits and doing head bobs and everything in front of children with women in the background saying, hey, get it, go, blah, blah.
Yep.
I wasn't well with it, you know. She said she'd try to find it again. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone, sis. People are commenting on. Boom, Siobhan said, boom, too sensitive society now. Can y'all explain prevenient grace? That's Ruth. Delia, I think.
What is it? Prevenient?
Prevenient.
Prevenient. I don't know if I know what that word is. I have to look
that
that up.
Prevenient grace. Yes, Ruth, we can talk about it. Prevenient means preceding in time or order. Preceding in time or order, coming before, anticipating or preceding. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I think I could understand that concept theologically.
Yeah.
I think I could understand that.
Prevenient grace elicits the first wish to please God, the first dawn of light concerning His will, and the first slight transient conviction of having sinned against Him. Interesting.
Yep, I probably have to do some more research, but I think I can connect some of the dots.
Yeah.
And understand it.
And, so I was opening a tab to read about it. So the 3 qualities of prevenient grace: it is enabling, it is transformative, and it is universal. And there are 2 important qualifications. It is not universalism, and it is not saving. Apostle Charles E. Ellis is watching. How you doing, Apostle?
How are you, Apostle? Bless you, sir.
I see Walla and them having their own whole conversation. That's funny.
Yeah, but it's good because they're commenting on the topic, and I think that the consensus seems to be that, you know, we've gotten a little bit crazy about some of the stuff that we're allowing in society, some of the stuff that we're fighting for. We just shouldn't be fighting for.
I agree.
It doesn't. The energy that we're going to use isn't working.
Of course. You're right.
We seem to just be caught up in certain things. What I walk in on, family. We walked in on a great discussion. We would love to have some of your opinion, Greg Bashiri.
I dropped it. Sorry, you guys. Sorry on YouTube land. Yeah, Bashiri, jump in there. There's a lot going on. That the 6th grader was reading. I made a post. The 6th grader is reading to the school board that in the book that he checked out to show his dad that this was in the library, that it was showing the 6th grader how to perform fellatio. And then the librarian asked if he wanted a more graphic novel. Unfortunately. And the father was a whole man. He was a...
Right. It was a 6th grade boy. And the book was teaching him, the boy how to perform fellatio. Well, not, what do you say, teaching? Encouraging?
Yeah.
Another boy to do this to another boy. And the librarian, he asked the librarian about it. The librarian asks him would he like a more graphic novel on the subject.
Right.
And you know, our point really has just been like, just doing too much. I mean, just doing too much. In our school, and I'm kind of glad for it, we understand standards. Rarely do young men get what we call dress coded, but there are times when young ladies come to school, and I have literally said, why do you have that on? Your mom says you're at the house like this, and I'm very vocal with some of the young ladies in my class.
Right.
And certain shirts they're not allowed to wear if they're cut a certain way.
Right.
If their jeans or are too tight.
And this is elementary.
Mm-hmm. If they have holes in them, we understand that that's inappropriate for this setting. The same thing would happen if it was a teacher. Some certain things just are inappropriate. And it just seems to me that certain books should be deemed inappropriate reading for 8, 9, 10, 12-year-olds. And those books are not books that are teaching them about the history of this country, which are the books that are happening to be banned.
Yeah.
And one of the issues that we're having is that they're both being lumped together as kind of one and the same when they're not. And that's one of the struggles that we've been kind of campaigning for, if you will, fighting against, is almost all of the time the people that are trying to ban, say, the books on Harriet Tubman and Martin Luther King say, we have to do this because y'all are giving us these books on homosexual love and all this kind of stuff. So we have to kind of take all of it away and only have things around our children that are uplifting, so forth and so on. And it's a real struggle out here, man. You know what I mean? It's a real struggle because what's happening in Florida, what's happening in what was the post that you and Mo just sent me in Mississippi? Was it Mississippi?
Jim Crow law.
Those things are definitely creeping into our state because our governor is one of the guys who was very open in saying that if you play a sport in Virginia, that you can only play the sport that you were born to the gender that you were born. He passed a law, whatever, about bathrooms and all that kind of stuff, which I probably would venture to guess that most of us applaud. But he's also one of those guys who leans to the DeSantis thing in terms of not wanting to make anybody feel bad about the history of the country. And so there's always this kind of juggling act with these things. And it just seems like common sense has just gone out the window. And we're dealing with things that make you just want to say, why? just why?
Just why?
Right.
What do you all think about integration or segregation? You know, integration or segregation? Bashir said, have to find a way to homeschool my seeds. Yeah, it's very important. Pastor Joe and I were talking about micro schools. I mentioned it to him, and he liked the idea.
Love it.
Basically, it would be this concept that we had of 7 kids, 5 to 7 kids per one adult, no more than 10. And the adult would be a certified teacher, educator, and then their job, their work would be those 7 to 10 children. He could have his own children in the class. That's amazing, as well as some others. But we would pay. Not for daycare, because it's not that. It's educational. But the fees that we pay pays the salary of the teacher, right? And they would go 2 to 3 days a week, and then the other 2 days they homeschool. You homeschool them. The other 3 or 2 days. So maybe 2 days with the teacher, 2 days with you, and then a field trip of some sort, or some sort of activity on a Friday maybe. And that would be amazing. Micro school.
It's a great idea. I mean, because I'm learning, being in education, that it was kind of the same way it was when we were in school. If it's in a book, then we trust that the book is citing sources accurately and giving you the history without opinion.
Mm.
And now our children don't necessarily go to books and encyclopedias. They go to the internet. And we all know how valuable that is.
Mm-hmm.
And even the search engines can control the amount or the type of information that comes when you try to search a particular topic.
Right. They've done that.
They're doing it every day.
Every day.
And some of this comes from Congress, that you have to limit what people can search. And it's up to us to be able to read, to continue to tell the history, to teach our children so that we understand really what's going on in society, because there are a lot of powers that be that don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that's interesting you said that. Emil says integration good, segregation not, but homeschooling, yes. Delia says segregation, I believe, would have been better for our children learning the history of our people and who we really are. I think that our children, our little black and brown children, should have people in front of them that look like them. Excuse me. That's can only happen with segregation. I think we can get a lesson from the text that says being in the world but not of it. As long as we are integrated, we will always be subject to whatever is put before us, and and not having our own. I think we need our own land and our own, and so we will be separate in that way, and then we come together on our own terms whenever we like or not like, you know.
Yeah, I think
So segregation first, and then we integrate accordingly as we see fit, not it's set before us.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we have to overcome is just the language, because segregation has such a negative connotation because our parents lived in a segregated society which was inherently unequal. I think what we're speaking towards is really what happens on a daily basis in almost every society throughout the world. If you're in China, chances are you're being taught by somebody that is Chinese. You know what I'm saying? You're probably not being taught by a Russian. There might be some good Russian teachers in China, right? But chances are you're going to be taught Chinese history, culture from somebody there.
Right.
Same thing with Russia. You can insert whatever culture, and even with that, certain regions and provinces are going to kind of have their thing intact,
Correct.
differently than others.
Correct.
And because we have been kind of taught that we're not indigenous to this land, and we don't really have kind of a place, right, that we can call our own. And so we've had to force a level of integration so that the inequalities could essentially come to a halt. But the reality is that what should happen is the government should be trying to equally fund what we're talking about, and like you said, and then we come together with an appreciation for other people's cultures.
Yeah.
You go to any big city in America, and Italians hang with Italians, Jews have places where the Jews hang together, Chinatown, you know what I mean? And most of the time,
segregated, but
right. Same thing with Latinos, Mexicans in the big cities. I mean, even some of the smaller cities, there's different areas and pockets of people. And if you want to go and get you some good, some good clams and mussels, you can. They're fine. There isn't an expectation that you're going to, though, be in charge of the police, the fire department, the schools there. They're going to handle that part. And the stigma of segregation is something that I think is a challenge to kind of overcome. But absolutely, man. Could you imagine how much wealth we would have if we were able to keep what we have invented and grown and come up with kind of under our control?
That part.
Yep.
Man. There is just now, a couple of years ago, right before COVID, got the first black sheriff in Southampton County, Virginia, Josh, and that's the same place where the Nat Turner insurrection happened, and now they have a black sheriff. I think it's absurd. The country been around 400 years or so, and we still have firsts. That's what integration gets you.
Yep.
We still have firsts right now.
Still have them.
And so, I'd like to hear from you on that. We still have firsts with integrating. Whereas when we were doing it ourselves, I would like to submit that we just were doing it. It was always just, it just was. It wasn't necessarily a first. It was the first time doing this. It was our first and our contributions.
Yep.
We should learn things like there's a black woman that invented home security, cameras and home security. You should know that and be empowered by that.
GPS?
She wasn't a trans woman. She was a woman.
Yeah.
That's encouraging to little black girls, to me.
Yeah.
That they can do that. Something like that. It's amazing.
Yep. Yep. Sorry, Facebook. I wanted to get some of your comments and stuff. It was acting a little crazy because I had a phone call that came through. And let me go. Oh man, I gotta go way back.
I agree with Emil. I think segregation heightens prejudices. That's what Elder Siobhan said. That's a good idea, Mike. I guess actually you're talking about microschools.
Yeah.
I think you have to accept and love yourself first and reject Western standards of beauty and concepts of superiority and inferiority. So Elder Siobhan said. I think that is true, Elder Evangelist Siobhan Miles. I think that is true. You have to accept and love yourself first and reject Western standards. The only issue that I have with that is that the majority of us are programmed so intensely where we can't have that conversation. That's the secondary, even though we know that's the goal, that's the vision, we have to address how to change that. And we can't do it with while we are still trying to be integrated.
It's funny because the Western standards kind of have changed and have been changing. The standards of beauty have shifted, and everybody's trying to look like sisters to an extent.
They always wanted to be you.
Right.
Even white men want to be you. Good grief.
The surgeries and all those things. I would say the only thing that hasn't been fully adapted is maybe the hair, in terms of the natural way that black people wear their hair, the kinkiness of it. But everything else is influenced heavily by us.
Yeah.
Wow. And things have changed significantly over the last few years. Apostle Ellis says, with society, there's always going to be multiple changes. We have to keep our values still. You got to know where you come from to know where you're going. My dear wife is talking about the one that's in the belly and says she's not sure if she wants to send him to school because who knows what they will be trying to instill in him. Black history is important. It's hard when teachers are not even black. Talking real good. Babylon is being created as we speak. It's already here.
It's already, yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah, it's already
here. Elder Siobhan said, Sister Pam's, Emil says, no, Sister Karen says, she agreed with Siobhan, so true. Emil says, I definitely agree with educating everyone, but I'm from a mixed environment, race, and I learned pretty well, which makes you an anomaly, because you're from that, which should be respected and identified. That's a key variable. But I understand our past and where we come from. That is the point. Oklahoma. Yes, Oklahoma. I'm assuming you mean Tulsa, 1921, and prior to it, like a few years prior to 1921 with the Black Wall Street. Yes, those people in Tulsa were in fact segregated. And I stand to be corrected, but let's look at it very clearly. They had their own banks, they had their own hospitals, their own schools, and their own airplanes and airports, their own. They were still functioning in this country and in this culture, but they had their own, which was my point from the beginning. We should be able to have our own land. If they shut off bread at the store, you should be able to go and make it on your land. No one can control you because they control your source. No. That was my whole point. Sister Pam says, I think we are segregated most Sunday at church. Wow. Boom. Interesting, Sister Pam.
True.
Yeah, right? How often have you seen or visited, even seen online, a multicultural church, diverse, supposedly, church that has, they don't do anything in Black history. They don't celebrate it. A lot of them don't even have a Black pastor. America was such a big melting pot. We accepted any and every culture, race, etc. We accepted it, but some people just came on their own accord, brother. A lot of people flourish and flock here. Yes, that's true. I agree with that too. I'm constantly reminded, Siobhan, everybody didn't grow up in my house. My father loved him some Grace Jones and Thelma from Good Times. Yeah, her daughter goes to Hampton, as a matter of fact. She's in Hampton a lot.
Who?
Bernadette.
Oh.
Yeah.
Distant relative, some kind of way.
Really, you.
That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. She used to date my friend. Yep. So, interesting. Segregation or integration? Wow. I don't know. I think I've had enough of integration. Maybe that's the point that I would stick at. I had enough of it and would like the opportunity to be segregated. To have our own, grow our own, police our own, teach our own.
We've never really had a legitimate opportunity to see how that social experiment would work. And every time there were levels of success, there was a huge pushback from the mainstream society to destroy it.
Yeah.
And so
they drop bombs on them people, man.
Drop bombs. I mean, literally began to change laws. During Jim Crow and Reconstruction, to remove the power that black people had by being the majority in certain towns. Change the laws in terms of redlining and all those types of things. And so, we've never really had it. I mean, that's one of the things that we've never really had. And the government doesn't really have much interest in funding it. And so it's something that we would have to find a way to fund ourselves.
And you don't ask them for funding it. You just do it. You own the house, but not the land it's on. Make some changes. Buy you some dirt somewhere. Get some dirt. It's the only thing they're not recreating. You can't make it up anymore. Get some dirt and put something on it. That's it. You have to do it.
Apostle Ellis says we must not forget that we dropped a lot of bombs on ourselves as well. We did. We have some issues, not a perfect society.
We all have PTSD. You've been, by default, Apostle, by being black in America, you have a portion of PTSD, some more than others. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. You have it. And so now you have generationally been systematically oppressed and programmed, and so now the results are anxiety and just always fighting, running a race that is to others not even a race. They just exist. If that is true, that black people have PTSD and inferiority complex on some levels, and that is generational, and that we have some stigmas and things that we are trying to overcome. If that is true, then we stand to reason that there's some generational things in wonderful people that need to be addressed as well. Feelings of superiority complexes, and yeah, I'm done. That's you can't have one without the other. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's facts. I forget the lady who wrote the book that we all are suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic slavery disorder.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic book. You can YouTube one of her lectures on it. But it's the picture of Jerry Jones that kind of went viral right before the Super Bowl last year or whatever. That guy's still walking around. And as much as I love the Cowboys, the reality is that he was there when they were trying to not let that young lady in school. Well, he has kids that are still alive today. He might have completely changed his ways. I mean, I don't know, right? But at the end of the day, everybody there did. And they have kids that are probably now, a little bit older than us, and grandkids that are the same age as our kids. That's the reality of America.
I think that it's so much going on. Like, what do you think about John? They're trending his crazy name, John Warren. Instead of John Warren, they really letting him have it. But do you think that the NBA is a plantation? I've always thought that it's very controlled and it's a plantation.
Yeah, I mean, the plantation thing is tough because it's like, man, these guys making a lot of money, man. You know what I mean? In comparison to what's happening on plantations. You know
what they can do, it's an idea of a plantation. What can you do with your money to help your people?
What can the people in the NBA do?
Yeah. You can do anything entertainment wise. You can build some schools and have your own separate thing like what we talking about.
Well, I think you can. It just depends on who does it. Like LeBron did. He has a school. Jalen Rose had one before that. Most of those guys don't choose to do that. But I think you can.
LeBron made some comments that were very interesting against Kyrie.
He did. But then he came back and some kind of supported.
Wishy-washy.
Well, I kind of agree. I didn't agree with coming down on Kyrie. I did agree with him saying the last point was, look, if he made a mistake, he made a mistake. Leave him alone. He did his time for whatever crime he committed. Now leave him alone, put him back in the league. And
I think it was a crime?
Do I think it was a crime?
Yeah.
Of course not. I don't think it was a crime at all.
So that part.
But I mean, LeBron, he ain't gonna.
Plantation.
He's not
back to my first one. Plantation. You can't say what you want to say and do. Where's the freedom with all that money to say how it really is? No. You scared to lose it?
Yeah. It's a lot of money. He's a billionaire.
I think that's the problem there. We're scared to lose it. That means you don't really have it. It ain't yours. For me, I think I just think different. I've never been, the money is like, so what? Give it all away. Do it again. If he bless me with this, and he bless me again over here, we're going to do what's right. Period. For me. And I think LeBron is awesome.
I think that I didn't have an issue with the Kyrie thing at all. I mean, all he did was tweet a movie that somebody else made. And again, we kind of talked about this, but then the whole idea of who's a Semite, who's a Hebrew, all that, we should be able to have a level of intelligent dialogue without getting canceled. It's wishful thinking, right? But I think that there are a lot of black people who do have a problem with what Kyrie said. Maybe because they're misinformed. Maybe because
100%.
Maybe they're ignorant.
Yeah.
And ignorant is, don't know.
Simply not knowing. Exactly.
Maybe because they don't want to rock the boat and do any research, and they don't want to have the conversation because it's not that significant to them. And I think that a lot of us kind of fall somewhere along the lines. I think a lot of that is happening now, Mike, in terms of this whole LGBTQ plus kind of movement. I think there are a lot of people that are not saying what they feel. I think there are a lot of people who might just be too scared to deal with whatever the potential backlash could be if they did say what they really wanted to say. And a lot of people that are in significant positions of power are not going to rock the boat to potentially offend a particular group of people.
Right. I think you're right. Emil said, I've been around the world and we in America never had that. But always 400 plus years had that. And what did we do? Sister Karen says the Bill Russell documentary talks about all that he did for black people's interests and what could be done to support us separately and collectively.
Who said that?
Bill Russell. Karen Scott said
that
about Bill Russell.
Read his book too.
Yeah, it's a great doc. I want to consider looking at the end result of Bill Russell and his works the ideas he had, the dreams and thoughts that he had, where he put his money, and the conclusion of the matter. What is it now? Where he ended up and where his thoughts and dreams ended up. Just consider that. Darrell Reed said it was thought NBA stood for nothing but Africans. We're talented, athletic, but we may not have been economically trained on investments. True. Sister Karen says Ali, Jim Brown, and Bill Russell were willing to put down their sport and money for a cause, black equality. Those type of black athletes don't exist now. That's true. They don't exist now. Some of them, I think, may, like Pastor was saying about LeBron. My point was, this is a great list. And look at, because it's in the past, so we have a clear view of it now. We can assess it.
Right.
Look at them. Ali was very vocal. And what did they do? They took his voice. Literally. Towards the end, he couldn't speak. They literally took his voice. Jim Brown did the same cause. He wears the black stuff, everything. The funds, because it wasn't the same even then, but the funds still controlled a controlled situation. Only can move in certain ways. There's not enough people of that caliber doing it at the same time for the same cause. There are pockets, like you were saying, you named 3 people. When there are 100 we can name with millions and millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Robert Johnson sold BET to Viacom. Why? See?
Which really it's an interesting, I think it's an interesting dichotomy for African Americans, because the hardcore reality is that throughout the history of this country, we've never really had anything. And so a lot of, I think that there's kind of 2 prevailing thoughts. The Jay-Z says, how can I help the poor if I am one of them, right? Mm-hmm. So there is this one school thought that says, I need to become as wealthy as possible, because then I can have direct influence and impact on the generations that are connected to me. Mm-hmm. So I will sell BT to y'all for billions of dollars, because now I'm affecting generational wealth. I'm establishing generational wealth for me and my family. And I can put whatever values in. And I can now control that money. And I can help people. I can, fund, black schools and do different things or whatever, right? But then there's also the other side of that says, I will never sell out, if you will, or sell anything for you to give me something, right? And I will influence my people without having to take something from you or to sell something to you to have that influence. And it's kind of like it's this juggling act, which has kind of been a part of our history in this country. And I don't really know. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. I think that people have their way of kind of attacking the issue. You know what I'm saying? You have the Michael Jordans of the world, who infamously said, Republicans wear sneakers too, and just didn't dabble in politics. But I can tell you that all of the Jordans, they're all good, right? You know what I'm saying? They're going to be good for generations until, because of his contribution to just saying, I'm staying out of it. But then you have the Ali family, who did a different way. Not nearly the amount of money, but probably equal, if not higher level of influence.
Yes.
It says, you know what? Ali's funeral was universal. You know what I'm saying? Because of his faith, because of his impact, his influence on cultures. And he's going to be the type of man that says, I did it my way. You know what I mean? I didn't have to. I was able to stand against what you thought I should have done. And, you took 3 years away from my life, but I'm still the man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so there's always been this kind of two ways of doing things. The W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington kind of debate that's kind of been long-standing in our communities.
Right. Malcolm X. Martin.
Yeah, right.
Huh. I think, and I've said this before, I think Nat Turner was necessary. Even if it was a fabricated story, the idea that a black man killed some white folks and then the laws change was important. And it always spoke to me. So I think that is one of the first by any means necessary stories for me. And I'd rather go with Malcolm X for me. I know it's not for everybody. Somebody got to write the letters. Somebody got to be Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but somebody need to be Lafayette. What's the guy that beat all the Haitian dude? Oh man, just left me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Beat Napoleon and whooped them boys, the French.
The Haitians.
Yes, sir. Beat them. So somebody got to be that.
Yeah, I mean, just like if you say Nat Turner and Frederick Douglass, very similar histories. But Frederick Douglass kind of went a different way and became the most influential black man in America, advisor to President Lincoln, and kind of took that path. Nat Turner was like, "Try to F some stuff up."
Also, the most influential man in America.
You know what I'm saying? And
different
ways. And I don't know that there's a right or wrong way per se. I think that there's a preferential way, and maybe the answer is kind of in the middle. There's a both and kind of way of looking at it. But revolution is necessary.
Part.
Our Lord and Savior was a revolutionary.
That part.
You know what I mean?
He was against the grain. Yeah. And he didn't spend a lot of time trying to make people get it. He didn't.
He didn't have a lot of time. He had 3.5 years.
Yeah. That part.
And had to make his impact. And, you know, we was jokingly calling ourselves thugs, but the most kind of, and this is not disrespectful to super saved people, the most kind of hardcore thug thing you can say is, you can't take my life. I'll lay it down. I'll let you do something. You can't take my life from me. I'm too big for you. As a matter of fact, what you think you're doing, I'm gonna forgive you for it. I'm a boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole nother type of mentality. Like, nah, you can't do anything. You can't touch.
Fabian Leon's first time watching, saying big up. How we doing? Hello, we see you right there. Fabian Leon's.
Okay.
Right there. We're doing well. Ruth Williams says, do you think our growth has been stunted by these things? I do. By trying to be inclusive on most levels. We've always been striving to be accepted when we didn't really understand how to just be. Siobhan says, I think that what we're really missing is the garden. This world is full of sin and imperfect people. I feel like I build bridges and break barriers, but it's on an individual basis. Unity is important to God.
You said the garden?
Yeah. I think unity is important to God, but among our people, we don't have it. So what I'm presenting, I'm submitting to the conversation that we start there, because we overlook that and just want inclusion and unity from people that don't look like us. So we gotta start at home. And everybody's not gonna be getting it. That's fine too. Some people gonna be left out. That's fine. Whosoever will, let them come. For me. I'm trying to get everybody's thing. There's a delay. We started a little bit after. From the Caribbean, from St. Lucia. All right.
Yeah, and I think that it is a bit of a misnomer to think that we can't be separate and be unified, and that, and it's all, and I can feel the kind of influence of history on some of this,
Right.
because again, we've just never had the opportunity to see how it works.
That part.
But just think about it like this. My brother was raised in a home with his parents. I was raised in a home with my parents. We're brothers. At the end of the day, my last name is not LaMelle, it's Williams. I was raised a certain way, he was raised a certain way.
Right.
We have differences, but when we come together, we're brothers. It's the same way with anybody you meet. It could be white, could be brown, could be purple, could be green. They were raised in a particular context. When you come together, there's either going to be some level of blending and respect for each other's context, or nah, I don't get down with you like that. And there is nothing inherently wrong with us saying we're going to establish our context like in this, and then when we come together, it's going to be mutual respect because we understand who we are and respect and understand who you are, and if we choose to kind of walk together as we agree, so forth and so on. But this idea that we can't be unified and be diversified at the same time, I think is a bit of a misnomer, because
I agree.
I think that everybody else was able to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There was fighting, there were things to overcome, but people, and one of the things that I think that a university does, one of the things the church kind of could do if it chose to, is to bring these different minds, these different cultures together in a way that we're able to respect and learn from one another.
Yeah.
But you have to have some level of knowledge of yourself beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was saying from the very beginning, that we have to be able to learn about ourselves, and it happens better with people in front of us that look like us. Unity is important within the body. Clarification from Evangelist Miles.
Totally agree.
Emil, I had a long problem being biracial, so I've had a lot of different experiences than what's being talked about. Yeah, a lot of different experiences. That's Emil.
Yeah,
biracial.
We should give him a chance to talk about it, because that's a definite unique experience that I think should be honored in this particular context, because we have to deal with, that's a lot of people's reality, you know what I mean, of being a mixed heritage, mixed race in America, and sometimes you just don't fit in either one.
Correct. Which has to do with our programming again. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting. Man, it's been over an hour already.
Really?
Did you really? Man, let's get a couple of these questions in.
All right,
10 at least, man.
Got to be 10, I gotta go quick then.
Yeah, man, 10. All right. Because y'all gonna say they ain't do no Bible study. Fill in the blank. This is Jesus speaking.
All right.
There is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him.
Okay.
Blank. Blank. Those are they that defile the man. There is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him, but the things of the law, but the things of which I tell you, but the traditions of Pharisees, but the things which come out of him.
But things which come out of him.
That's what you say? Final answer.
I'm trying to go quick.
Submit the answer. That is correct. That is correct. That's Mark 7 and 15. For those of y'all that's looking it up. Mark 7.
We sorry we didn't give y'all a chance to answer. We were trying
15.
to be quick tonight because we talked a lot about diversity.
And just why.
Just why. And other
Y'all
pertinent things.
Y'all should probably look on my Instagram before I get canceled again.
Gotta keep them out of jail. Free Mike.
All right. Who wrote the book of Colossians? Paul, Peter, Luke, or John? Who wrote the book of Colossians? There's some letters to the church. Yeah. Bow, bow, bow. I wonder.
All right, should we give him a second?
Who wrote that? Y'all know? Anybody? Who wrote the book of Colossians?
All right, got Paul. Paul. I'd be surprised if it's not Paul.
That's what you're going to say?
I'm going to go with Paul.
We're going to say Paul. And Paul is the right answer for sure. And that it will be found in Colossians 1:1. JLW said Paul. Del Reed said Paul. Siobhan said if it wasn't Paul, we don't know. I think.
I was about to say, evangelists know.
All right, here we go. Next question. At the time of Saul's death, the Jebusites lived in Jerusalem, and it was known as Jebus, Hebron, Jebusite, or Zion. At the time of Saul's death, the Jebusites lived in Jerusalem, and it was known as Jebus, Hebron, Jebusite, or Zion.
All right, that's a little trick question.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Hebron for me, but
Hebron.
I'm not sure.
All right, let's see. What say you? John Boyette said Zion. Zion is calling me to high place of praise.
Zion could be right.
You know that song?
Yeah. Stand upon the
mountain. Sing, Reverend.
No.
Magnify his name. Tell all the people in every nation that he reigns. Zion is calling me to a higher place of praise. Man, that's a great worship song right there.
Yep.
Del Reed say Jebus.
Man, we got 3 different answers.
Yeah, we do.
Luckily, we don't have no money on the line.
What say you?
I'm just going with Hebron.
Hebron, let's see. Excuse me, I'm yawning. That's incorrect.
Oh, what was it?
Del Reed, you've been promoted to deacon. It's Jebus.
Okay, I thought it was a trick. Oh, so Jebusites.
Yeah, the Jebusites. It makes sense.
So they're trying to trick us.
Yep. That makes sense. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's 1 Chronicles. I like you, sinner man.
So I'm 2 for 3. Keep your score at home. There's no money on the line, so I don't really worry about it.
It's 11-4. 1 Chronicles 11-4. That was good, Del Reed. Been promoted to deacon. All right. Question 4. What did an Israelite do if one of their slaves did not wish to be set free on the 7th year as God commanded? What did an Israelite do if one of their slaves did not wish to be set free on the 7th year as God commanded? Increase his wage, stick an awl through his ear into the door, force him to leave, or embrace him as part of the family.
Why we can't get no money? Different
Different
game. I'm gonna say embrace him as part of the family. I have no idea.
Siobhan, evangelist say pierced his ear.
Kill him.
So it said that's that sticking all through his ear into the door.
That's death, ain't it?
I thought it was.
I mean, I'm trying to think, can you do it without killing somebody? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question, so I'm gonna say accept as part of the family. That's what I'm gonna say.
Lorenzo Woodson said force him to leave.
That seems kind of productive to me.
Embrace him as part of the family. Del Reed, Deacon Reed says through the ear. Evangelist
It's gotta
Miles.
be. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking a different way.
Not what Joe would do.
No, I'm saying in terms of biblical context.
Right.
If God is saying you must set these people free, and they say, "Nah, I don't want to be set free," why would you kill them? Like, I don't make sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would think you're going to either increase their weight so they're going to pay you a little more, or say, "Nah, okay, well, your family now. You've been with us this long, now you're part of the family." So I'm going with my logic is saying part of the family. I don't know. I have no
All right, part of the family. Let's see. And that answer is incorrect.
Incorrect.
It is sticking all through his ear into the door.
Wow.
The scripture is Deuteronomy 15. And it's 16 through 17.
Had no idea.
All right.
That when I get
Let's
home.
read that.
Oh, you want to read it for us?
Yeah, we need to look at that, man.
Again, I was just using logic. My logic. Don't mean it's biblical logic. I guess nobody would refuse to leave then, would they?
Right, they would just go on and leave.
Oh, get up out there. You're going to be dead.
Deuteronomy, what I say, 15?
Yep.
And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee in that house, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an awl, and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. Just a piercing, like Elder
like
said.
ear piercing.
And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought when they were saying that, they were talking about killing.
Yeah,
That's not a killer. That's
to the door.
Piercing.
Right. We learned something, huh?
So I guess I don't know, some kind of way you get your ear pierced.
Getting closer to the front pew, Deacon. That's what Darryl Reed said. Closer to the front pew,
Trying
Doc.
to elevate him to the middle.
Yes, sir, Doc.
Got more questions right than me.
Yeah. All right. This is good for Bible study, though.
It is. I don't know that.
All right. How did Gabriel appear to Daniel in his vision?
Okay.
How did Gabriel appear to Daniel in his vision? He flew swiftly. He ran towards him. He rode in on a horse. He came out of the water. How did Gabriel appear to Daniel in his vision? He flew swiftly. He ran towards him. He rode in on a horse, or he came out of the water. Anybody?
Well, we're gonna let the Pope, Elder Reed, we gotta wait for him.
Elder Reed, what say you, man?
Say, Reverend.
How did Gabriel appear to Daniel in his vision? He flew swiftly, he ran towards him, he rode in on a horse, and he came out of the water. Evangelist Miles said swiftly,
Okay.
but with a question mark. I want to take this time to say that Deacon Reed he attends Shiloh Baptist Church.
Shiloh, all right.
Across from the great state of Norfolk State
Norfolk
University.
State University.
Yeah. So the deacon said rode in on a horse.
Okay.
He didn't put a question mark either, like
all right.
Evangelist Miles. He said it with confidence.
Well, forgive me for trying to disagree with the great deacon. My cousin says he came out of the water.
Lorenzo Woodson said the water, huh? What say you, Pastor? How did Gabriel appear to Daniel in his vision? He flew swiftly, he ran towards him, he rode in on a horse, or he came out of the water.
Man, I don't know. He came out of the water. We're just going there.
The water?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You want to go with your cousin?
We'll go with cousin. Cousin said Luca.
Out the water. All right. Evangelist Miles says swiftly.
Flew swiftly.
Deacon Reed says he rode in on a horse.
See, that was my question. Which visit to Daniel? That was my question. Because
Which visit? Oh my.
Right, but I'm not.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. That's why I'm saying I don't know. So my answer is I don't know.
Siobhan said swiftly, and I agree. That's what Delia said. Swift.
All right. Well,
Flew in swiftly.
All right, let's go.
He's an angel. Why is he riding a horse?
I don't remember no. Okay, let's go with swiftly. Let's go with swiftly.
Flew swiftly. Pastor's saying he's changing it to go with the anointed ones.
All right.
All right. Let's see. That is correct. Good. Let's see. Change your answer. Dee Dee, you got that right. Dee Dee's going to be elevated to she's going to be a mother now. What? An intercessor. All right. Got that right. Deacon Reed, you need a tarry service. We're going to be.
So
all right, let me put that in. That's Daniel. Daniel 9:21. All right. All righty. Next question. Which of these things did the psalmist compare God to? A candlestick, a goat, a cloak, or a shield? Which of these things did the psalmist compare God to? A candlestick, a goat, a cloak, or a shield?
I'm going to go shield. The shield.
Shield.
I don't know what y'all think.
God is my shield, yeah. Fortress and shield, yeah. Well, we did a song like that. Yeah. What is it? Free? Man, I gotta find that song.
Getting a few shields.
Shield, huh? Repeat, Evangelist Miles. Which of these things did the psalmist compare God to? A candlestick, a goat, a cloak, or a shield?
Oh Lord, a shield about me.
That's what you're saying, Reverend. A shield, right? Uh-huh. And everyone who said shield is correct.
Shield, all right.
And that is Psalm 3 and 3. Yes, Evangelist, you did it right. All right, a few more. 4 more. What is the name of the physician that sent his greetings in the book of Colossians? What is the name of the physician that sent his greetings in the book of Colossians?
Okay.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John?
Luke. Dr. Luke, who else? Paul's physician, the great physician. But not the great physician.
Y'all got that?
Jesus.
What is the name of the physician that sent his greetings in the book of Colossians? Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John? Pastors say we're going with Luke, and that is correct. I know that y'all was going to get that. I just put it real quick. That was kind of an easy one.
Dr. Luke.
And of course, Evangelist Miles and Delia said Luke. I want to take this time, we shout out churches, you know. I say that Deacon Reed goes to Shiloh Baptist.
Shiloh.
And I can't think of the name of it right now, but Delia Davis, Dee Dee, she comes out of the church of the great, late Anthony Moses.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good God Almighty, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whew. Could sing and preach.
Double duty, brother. And play. Triple threat.
Man, he could do them old joints real good too.
Yeah, man.
His voice. All right, we're going to the next question. Come on now. What we doing?
Next question.
What did Jesus ask the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders when they questioned his authority in the temple courts?
All right.
What did he ask them? Where they got their authority? Where John's baptism had come from? Why they were still unbelieving? And where they thought Jesus' authority came from? What did Jesus ask the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders when they questioned his authority in the temple courts? Did he ask them where they got their authority? Did he ask them where John's baptism had come from? Why they were still unbelieving? Where they thought Jesus' authority came from? Which one?
I'm going with B. about John's baptism.
Okay.
I'm not going to get cocky. But I think they had a conference about it, if I'm not mistaken.
Where John's baptism came from? B.
I'm going with B. I think I know this one.
All right.
I'm transparent about the ones I don't know.
Siobhan said 2. John's baptism. All right. Well, let's see. And that would be correct. That would be found in Mark 11 and 29. So can I put that in there?
That's right. And they said, well, if we say it comes from man, then he's going to say this. But if they say it comes from God, then he's going to say this. Tricked them up.
Right.
They was like, well, we're not going to tell you. He said, well, nanny boo boo, I'm not going to tell you.
That part. 2 more. Why did God tell Ezekiel to pack up his things and move out as if he had been taken captive? To help him prepare for the future? To show that God was with him? As a sign that these things would happen to them? To show that he could not live with their sins? Why did God tell Ezekiel to pack up his things and move out as if he had been taken captive?
I have 6 right, by the way, wife. Don't do that. Anyway, and let's go for number 7. As a sign that these things would happen to them.
All right.
That's what I'm going with.
As a sign. And that is correct.
7.
See there? Why did God tell Ezekiel to pack up his things and move out as if he had been taken captive? As a sign that these things would happen to them. That can be found in your book in Ezekiel 12 and 11.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Somebody put it. Oh.
That was
You
wrong.
put it in?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
All right. Somebody put it. You put it in?
Yep. 12 and 11. Fingers going too fast. All right. Multitasking. And the last question.
All right.
How many years did Jacob serve to win Rachel for his bride?
All right. All right.
14 years, 7 years, 1 week, or 1 month? How many years did Jacob serve to win Rachel for his bride?
And to go 8 out of 10, 14.
How many years? How many? Pastor's saying 14 years. All right. Anybody else saying 14? Siobhan say 7 plus 7. 7. Well, the correct answer is 14 years.
8%.
Some of them got that wrong. Let's see. Genesis 31 and 41 is the text. Genesis 31 and 41. Let's see. Read it right quick, since it's our last one.
8. I missed 2. It's 10 questions. 8 out of 10.
Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times.
They say, you know what? I'll leave that alone.
Come on, Doc. Come on, Doc.
They say,
They.
when you study that, it's a metaphor. Because it's going to take you, as a husband, 14 years to get the wife that you really thought you was going to get.
My. That's a word,
It's
Doc.
going to work. And at around 14, she going to come. Then she going to make you wait about 6 more. It's just a metaphor, people. Don't get mad, man.
They say he did them 14 years for both the daughters.
Yeah. Well, you know he had Leah when he wanted Rachel. And they say, let me stop. I'm done.
Come on, Doc. What they say, brother?
That when you get married, you think you're marrying one. You're really marrying the other.
Man.
It take 14 years.
Man.
That's what they say.
They say.
That's what they say.
Listen, there's a, I don't know if we say this, but I'm already living on the edge, whatever, as an outlaw. But there was an arrest warrant issued for Bill Gates in the Philippines a few days ago, last week. for premeditated murder. You may ask yourself, well, why haven't I heard about that? Well, so Pastor made a little funny saying, well, I guess he won't be going to the Philippines. All them people that's making his products over there. But yeah, premeditated murder for his involvement with the vax, with the shot. Interesting. I just thought it was interesting. I'm just here to tell you information. Do with it what you will.
There you
go. So, Pfizer got one against them too. What do you think?
Some trust in chariots, some trust in horses.
Yeah.
But we will remember the name of the Lord our God.
Yep.
Bill not going to jail. Of course he's not going to jail. What are they going to do? Send an army from wherever he is, from the Philippines, to come get him? Not doing that. Set off an international war. But if he goes there, they have the right to arrest him if he has an arrest warrant.
And he's the leading authority on medicine right now, even though he's a computer guy. Go figure that.
Just why?
Just why, man?
Thank you, Cuzzo. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Cuzzo. We enjoy having you on as well. Got cousins all over the place.
Heavy chemtrails all day Sunday. Yes, and yes. That's all I was saying. Ain't no pollen. The stuff on your car is not pollen. Go and take it and look at it. It don't look the same. This is not the time of year for it. But everybody got allergies. And furthermore, it's affecting everybody. Not people that just had allergies. People ain't never had allergies being affected. Come on, man.
Yeah, mine been definitely
come on, man.
On fire lately.
Come on, man.
Praise
God.
gotta be,
you know what I mean? Got to be something else.
Something in the atmosphere. Something in the water.
JLW, happy birthday to you. Yeah. Oh, let me say this one last thing. Pastor didn't know. Like I said, I hadn't really been talking to Pastor, but this came to me, Pastor, when I was praying, I think. So, and then whoever will join me, you can join me. You know, it's no pressure. We're going to do a 7-day fruit and water diet. I meant to bring up a plate. I'll bring one next week for you. 7 days. Fruit and water. Or however long that you can do. Only fruit and only water. After the last day, we'll do 3 days of just water. And try to take your weight. Take your weight and see what changes with that. And notice your body changes. All right? That's what I'm going to do.
So just fruit, no vegetables, just fruit?
Fruit and water. I guess we can do vegetables too. I hadn't considered it. I was thinking about our water intake and flushing out.
Right.
I actually had a salad today from Jason's Deli. So, yeah, let's do fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables and water. 7 days. Fruits and vegetables and water. No pancakes, Lorenzo. And ask how much she gonna be praying for. You can't eat no gummy bears though. Keep doing that. Tell her all your business.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I was thinking about some things. People, my children in my class, like, Mr. Williams, you eat an orange every day, and I try to eat some level of fruit every day, and a lot of times I've noticed that when I'm feeling thirsty, sometimes just eating a piece of fruit. You don't have to necessarily drink a bottle of water.
Yeah.
It's a natural way of getting water into your body.
So we start now and go to next week. Ruth said no thanks. We start now or tomorrow, and go till Tuesday. We'll come back and see how it works and what changes we can make and kind of how we can encourage each other. I have some right now. I saw you talking about me and them gummies. I was. I knew you had some. Or whatever the little things that it's gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
Yeah. I already knew.
Get some
available.
compliments on your gear, son. Love
Love
your
it.
shirt.
Oh,
Email
thank
it.
you, brother.
He said email it to him.
Got a little turtleneck thing going on.
That's nice.
Brown clothes of the day. But check out, Pastor, let me see your jank. You got some crazy ones on today. Pastor got on Superman socks, and I got on popcorn socks.
There you go.
That part.
Love it.
All right.
Love y'all,
Thank
man.
you, John.
Thank y'all so much for the love and support. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. We appreciate you, man. Listen, tell somebody you love them, smile, and talk more to God. All right,
He'll talk back.
man.
Listen.
You're not obligated to save anyone at all. You're not obligated. You're obligated to. I saw this on a podcast, and the guy said that people said, "I'm gay." He loves you. God loves you, and He wants to have a relationship with you. I'm queer. God loves you and wants to have a relationship with you. Man, isn't that good?
That's the gospel. Well, part of it.
Right. Church, too. I saw this. I made this post, I guess, at some point on TNT. But church is for believers coming together, fellowshipping and stuff. But then we should evangelize and minister out. It's not always in church that is happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? You, ma'am, you, sir, are ministers. Right? So now go and administer what you've been entrusted with. That's the word.
That's
All
the
right.
word.
Talk to you. Appreciate y'all too.
Love y'all, man.
Yeah, man. We'll be here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Yep.
They're
And
booming already.
boom. All right, y'all go on and boom out, man. Love y'all.
Boom.
Peace. Say happy birthday again to JLW. Boom, boom, boom.
Finito.